So here we are on the MGC. This is the inner wing. As we can see, for some reason someone's previous owners decided to cut a hole. Cut a hole here. Probably just to have a look inside, see what the rust situation's like. So that was going to need a repair. Also, during its lifetime, it's had quite a few patches and quilt work done on it. So this section here has been, that's quite strong. It does look a bit untidy. It's very handy having it on the rollover jig. Just twisting it by one hand. Lovely. Now I've removed the bump stop off the bottom. I say removed, tried to unremove, and the two captive nuts have decided to hang on to their threads.
Clone Classics have been extremely helpful in sending me some reference pictures of the top landing plate, because I've got no idea what the shape should be, and here I've highlighted it with some black marker pen. And here's another picture of one that's obviously been fully repaired and restored, and as beautiful as it is. However, I'm still going to work out the angles and what they refer to so I can fabricate the bump stop plate. So I've cut the top section off to expose this gap, which I'm not sure what it refers to. I was thinking there should be a plate that goes in between the top section and the bottom section like this, but apparently according to Steve Wilkinson, that's not the case. There is just a plate that goes right over the whole thing, joining up the two and leading me up to the landing plate. And then on top of that, the bump stop plate itself is then welded to it. In order to work out the angles for the new landing plate, I've continued that metal plate, or at least my template, all the way up, and then you can see by the orange arrows, I think that gives me pretty much the right shape for the new landing plate.
And currently I'm working on the bump stop, which I have repaired this plate here because it was all haggard underneath. So I've put a plate through and just peened the top down and tacked it on. I'm assuming that this bit here is part of the original inner wing. And that is the part that I'm told should go all the way up over to the wing landing plate. So what I had previously was the two snapped off bolts, which I've managed to drill out and retap the threads. Luckily I had the right tap for it, so it's the right thread. And then this is all pretty sound. There's a little bit of a hole there, but the actual reinforcing plate that's behind looks solid, and this part here is all pretty sound, so I'm not going to touch that. And it also obviously lines up, so I don't want it to end up being misaligned. So what I'm going to do is I've made this plate and I've coated the back of it, and I've bolted that on there, and I've just gently peened the edges all round. And what I'll do next is I shall put the bolts in and I will weld that in solid, and I think that for the bottom part that'll be good enough. No, that's my thinking.
Here I've got the inner wing top section which I made in a previous video, and I'm offering it up to the bump stop which I'm making, and just adjusting and marking out to see how well I can make it fit. So it will involve a little bit of fiddling around, but we'll get there in the end. I've temporarily fixed the inner wing repair section in place with some plecos. Now I'm going to run the grinder along the top of that new plate that I've just welded on, ready to stitch it to the new landing plate.